On today's video, part 2 of the 196 versus 157 and 86 war. Today we're going to talk about the aftermath, but also about 7 factors that we did not talk about that led to the loss of Kingdom 196 and to the point they're in right now. Most of them out of their hands and out of their control. We're also going to talk a little bit about the flag placements and make a couple of corrections on the previous video that I made about these folks from 157 and 86. And finally talk about a 2v1 that happened in Lost Kingdom 2, where the 1 beat the 2. Show you guys how that got done, and maybe there is something to be learned from there as well. So sit back, enjoy the video. If you find it informative, helpful, useful, or any shape or form you want to support the channel, hit a like on the video, and let's go on. Hey there YouTube, welcome back to Gekko Gaming. For some reason you guys went really crazy after that first video. Obviously there is so much more to talk about than I can cover in 25 minutes. And I was asked not to make 40-minute long videos, so I condensed it and made it into 2 parts. Except that looks like Kingdom 196 completely forgot how much I had part in building that kingdom, in making videos after videos saying how good this alliance was and how good this kingdom was. And very quickly looks like these guys flipped on me. Snitch, traitor, all that stuff. Really, guys? I mean, when I was on your side, I was an asset, I guess. I wasn't really a friend. Oh well. Let's talk about a few circumstances that were out of their hands that led to this situation, and a couple of strategies and neat things that caused some of these factors to happen. Let's start with the number one thing, in my opinion, that is the worst thing that happened to Legends Gaming. You're looking at it right now. You see this? This is called a corner kingdom. Last Lost Kingdom, myself, Chiskel, Dragothian, Shinchi, every content creator, even Ronnie, mentioned how this is messed up. Those of us who have contacts with Lilith Gaming wrote Bibles worth of explanations why this needs to be fixed, and it wasn't. Let me explain to you how bad this is. First of all, let's look at Kingdom 157, who, by the way, turns out that I called out Mad as the guys who took care of this side, but Mad are actually a sub-alliance of Bad. So I apologize to the guys at Bad for confusing it. I saw only the fort by Mad, and I figured they were the biggest alliance. I apologize for that. I don't really know Kingdom 157 too much. Shout out to the guys at Bad who did an amazing job with their sub-alliance on this side. Look at how easy it is for this pass to get to this pass. This is 10 to 13 flags. Look at how easy it is for this pass to get to here. That's about 10 flags. Look at how easy it is for this pass to get to this pass. There is less than 50 flags in here. Look at how easy it is for this pass to get to this pass. And look at how ridiculously hard it is for either this pass or this pass to get here or here. There's a whole map to cross. You have to get through the whole damn zone to get to the other side. And so it's impossible for a corner kingdom to even get there fast or to hold on. They have to win their way into it there, where these two kingdoms sealed themselves a pass without even doing a single thing. So corner kingdoms are a joke. Lilith, you guys again messed up really, really badly this Lost Kingdom with these corner kingdoms. Some corner kingdoms did manage to get out of it. Even a 118 in Lost Kingdom 2 beat 2 kingdoms in this exact type of setup, except at the bottom left corner. We're going to talk about that later, so stay tuned for that. But this is just ridiculous. So that's number one. It was absolutely out of the hands of Legends Gaming. The second factor that once again was very, very much out of their hands was the fact that due to the diplomatic situation, they ended up going up against 2 kingdoms. And these 2 kingdoms have some of the biggest alliances in this Lost Kingdom. If you take a look, IKM are in number 3. Legends Gaming are 1 billion and some below them. And then BBTH are in 6th. And the next Legends Gaming doesn't even show up here before S157 are in here. And then from there, you have the first Legends Gaming. Congratulations, there's 2 bigger alliances in here. And then, hey, there's another Legends Gaming. There is Hope. Oh, no, wait. Batter right next to them. And Wing are right below that. And the WAL are right below that. There is no arguing that there was more power on the side of 157 and 86 against 196. Power has nothing to do with winning or losing, though. Because power only means there's a ton of troops in the accounts that are on the server, in the kingdom. But if those accounts don't show up to fight, what's power? The problem for Legends Gaming was that 157 showed up and 86 showed up with full force, swinging, and they swung hard. And even if Legends Gaming did have their top power available, everybody was wasting all their troops, going crazy hard. Even if Legends Gaming were in this match, not 0.6, 60% of what they could, or even 70% of what they could, but were 100% in, it would have been still a huge hill to climb to get rid of these 2 folks. And so that's a second factor that is very important. I still stand behind the fact that a big chunk of Legends Gaming never showed up to fight. And there is plenty of Legends Gaming leadership backing me on this. And as a matter of fact, a lot of the things that I'm telling you guys have been discussed with some of the top tier of Legends Gaming leadership, who agreed with me and also gave me a few points that I will talk about in this video. And so, even if you are an R4, you don't necessarily know, you don't really see the macro, the frame around the picture, but rather your portion of it. And the conversations that I had both in the last video as well as in this video came from people who see the frame as well as the picture. And they agreed with the big majority of it. Let's talk about point number 3. And point number 3 is a messed up one. Insane amounts of lag. Now, my personal experience was very little to no lag. It was a little laggy, but I never disconnected while building flags, thankfully. It is why, by the way, in JWM, I joined with my farm and helped building flags, even though I wasn't really needed, but the fact that I had 2 marches in there just helped a little bit. Turns out that for Legends, not only the lag was crazy, which it was for most of North America, by the way, they clicked on flags that never got built. The skill timer kept going down even though the lag was crazy. It was impossible to place flags and all that stuff. You can call that excuses. You can call that anything you want. But these are not the only folks who had that happen to them. I've heard of dozens of kingdoms who either turned on the craftsman, skillman, craft whatever called, the alliance skill that gives you flag building speed. I know of alliances and kingdoms who turned on the skill and it never got turned on until like the last 20 minutes on the timer. Turned on the skill and were never able to put a flag down for the first like 40 minutes because it kept disconnecting them and they never managed to actually click the flag to build. Others, just straight up, the skill didn't work. I have screenshots. I have literal screenshots, which were sent to Lilith, with the timer going down up top and the flag that's being built not having the right speed. And so there was a lot of lag. This is the third factor that was out of everybody's hand, but it affected everybody. So I don't necessarily know how bad it affected Legends versus 157 and 86, but still, this is also a very important factor to talk about. Factor number 4, which is out of the hands of Legends Gaming, but is very much in the hands of their opposition. When you have a 2v1, presence on the map is much more simple. 157 can decide to go to sleep and have 86 hold the wheel, and vice versa, as well as they can both show up and put damage in. 2 kingdom rotations against the 1 is very, very difficult. And we're going to talk later on how 118 fixed that mistake, and it was something that Legends could potentially do as well, and they kind of made the same mistake, which 118 committed as well, but managed to adapt quickly to change. When 2 kingdoms are going at it, it's super hard, and this ties into the 5th point, which is a 20 to 30 frontier war. When you have 3 to 4 alliances in each kingdom. So 6 to 7 to 8 alliances who can connect between 3 to 4 flags each to a flag of a Legends. You're talking about 20 to 30 rallies at all time. And it's impossible to hold on to that many frontiers. Legends Gaming strategy was to have LG7 and LG5 down here trying to hold on this area. You had LGX and I think LG47 as well taking care of this front. And then you had LG1 and 2 coming out this way. I don't know exactly where LG6, LGP, and LGD were. And by the way, I might be messing up the names. Maybe LG7 wasn't at the bottom, but LGP was. But you get the idea. They divided and conquered. But they divided their own power while they were going up against full-blown kingdoms that did not divide themselves. And let me show you what I mean by that. First and foremost, let's look at the flagging plan that Kingdom 157 had, which I mentioned and noticed in the previous video already, but I want to really reiterate it. And for that, we're going to represent on the map with a nice little drawing Kingdom 157 with yellow. Mad and Bad, the two alliances that are a sub-alliance of each other, again, big shout out to the folks at Mad, went on to hold on to this territory right here. So they were in charge of kind of taking care of this square right here, the two alliances. You can see 157 and Wall started making their way out this way and kind of taking care of this zone right here. And when that happened, anything that was Legends-wise in this area, everything that was here that had to do with Legends Gaming, had the possibility to get not only one rally, not only two rallies, but 3 or even 4 rallies on the one flat. 157 really locked in this area very, very, very well. At some point, S157 realized that that area is good to go. Bad are doing a badass job, and so are Wall. And so they started branching out a bit more this way to start locking in this middle section right here. And the folks from BBTH, the bigger alliance in here, realized where Legends Gaming were positioned. Legends Gaming 1. LG1 came out of here. And they were aiming that way. And their aim was really, just like we saw during the war, this pass right here. What BBTH ended up doing is they got out from this pass. They locked in this zone real quick for this pass right here. So this was out of question. And then they started building this way. They dropped the fort in here. And because they managed to build it and get it done quick enough, they cut off this passage away from Legends Gaming 1, who also employed LG1A in this area right here, to try to still push their way this way. But when it's LG1 against BBTH, and LG1 again, not with his full firepower, BBTH really managed to stop the train that was supposed to make it this way. On the other side of the map, we have the same exact idea. LG47 and LGX were holding hard. They were holding really well. It got to the point where we are going to represent Kingdom 86 with green. DWA came in this way, and their goal was what you see right here. But they had in here a little bit of a tough situation because LG47 are strong, and LGX as well. So what the unfortunate change of plans kind of was that B&W, who came out of here, or not B&W, sorry, IKM, who came out of here and were supposed to come out a little more that way, ended up double backing and helping out in this area. You can see this flag right here is the end of it, and from there, DWA managed to keep pushing forward. The guys of IKM made it further down this way to really help clean this out. And then they did what they planned originally on doing. I'm assuming all this, by the way, but I'm pretty sure I'm right about here, which is really closing this area out. And while all this was going down between IKM and DWA, the folks at Wing came out swinging this way. And they came out hard. They went through here straight this way. because they knew that either this or that was the target for LG1 and 2. LG2 came out of here. And so these guys had one priority, to lock this up. And you can see the way they built their flags. They eventually managed to make it here and made it here, where LG and LG47 were in here quite deep. Had a fort in here. There was a nice little fort in here. And they fought it off. And this is where a lot of crazy work was done by LG2 by pushing back wing, holding onto their stuff, and doing massive work. Why is this so important? Because the biggest mistake is to fight that many frontiers. And in a moment, we'll go to Kingdom 118 and show you guys how they took care of that issue. But as soon as things started falling apart on the sides, these guys who are the main force couldn't do anything. And it looks like IKM kind of predicted it, because as the biggest alliance in this kingdom, they really went for this side and cleaned out the side first rather than going out against the big boys first. So good on them. They actually predicted something very well. The final 2 points I have to do with that are controlled by Legends Gaming. And by the way, they were giving to me by Legends Gaming leadership, okay? These are 2 points that I'm adding because Legends Gaming leadership were the ones who brought them up in conversation with me. Number 1 is that it's really tough to synchronize that many alliances. They had a little bit of a lack of the right people in the right place, like I mentioned before, which meant that some of the folks that were in charge of the whole war were also rally leading, reinforcing, taking care of a frontier while having to overlook everything else. And so that was one of the biggest killers for them, because at some point, I'm just using them as an example, don't go crazy. LG5 go, hey, general, controller, individual, what do we do? We're in this situation. And the guy's like, listen, buddy, I can't help you. I'm getting destroyed in here and I'm just sending rallies over and over, or I'm destroying people in here. I can't really help you here. So synchronizing that many alliances requires very meticulous leadership, very much a lot of experience warring, which by the way, this was the first true war 196 had. And so this is one point that also caused the big issue, just lack of ability to control everything. And the final thing is something I've complained about from day one, and my biggest problem with Legends Gaming since I was there to build it. Since the day we chose Kingdom 196 and not Kingdom 200, which by the way, Legends Gaming was the K200 project. Some of you don't know this, and yet you're still hating on me. But I was there when we made the decision to go to 196 and not to 200 because we just couldn't make it. Servers stopped being created, Kingdom stopped being created, and it was either 196 or we redo our jumpers, which 800 people at the time had already made. That wasn't an option. So those of you who migrated later and now are talking crap, do your homework. Legends Gaming is very North American based. They do have European players, they do have some Asian presence, but not enough. And so on top of the fact that a lot of people didn't show up, during certain periods of time, there was much less presence than other. And that caused a real big problem because, as I mentioned, two kingdoms putting pressure, being able to rotate on each other, it's impossible to go up against. Before we go into 118, I want to say something to the people that I care for in 196 who went hard. Because I looked through hundreds of reports, and I did see a lot of good people losing all their troops for the cause. When I said a big part of the power never showed up, it wasn't said without any knowledge or background or conversations with leadership or conversations with individuals as well. And it wasn't meant to offend those who did show up, because a lot of people did show up and a lot of people lost everything fighting this. But again, the problem happened when some people are there and some people aren't. And so the people that are there now need to carry on their shoulders the people that aren't. Because at the end of the day, Legends Gaming is here because they're a top 32 kingdom based on power, but a good 15% of the individuals who ranked Legends Gaming in the top 32 based on their power never showed up. And so those who did show up and those who did sacrifice, who are my friends, who are people I care for, who are people I talk to on the day-to-day, who are awesome folks who are very supportive of this channel no matter what, lost everything on the shoulders of someone else. Well, technically, they lost everything while carrying on their shoulders everybody else. Not everybody, but you know what I mean. So shout out to those who did fight. There were a lot of those, but unfortunately not enough. Especially because the individuals that did place Legends Gaming and Kingdom 196 at the top, a good portion of them never showed up. And it's because of them that you guys ended up in here. Let's talk about Lost Kingdom 2 for a brief moment. Lost Kingdom 2 had Kingdom 118 in the bottom right corner. And they went up against Kingdom 234 as well as Kingdom 139. And just like Legends Gaming, these guys came out blasting from every direction. And NCB got wrecked. They were getting beaten hard. They were getting beaten hard. The difference between these guys and 196 is that NCB is a very experienced war veteran kingdom. And so what they did is they backed off, regrouped, and then they divided the two kingdoms up. They let Kingdom 139 take care of stuff in here. You can see how far Kingdom 139 made it. And they concentrated on Kingdom 234, cleaned them out, kept making sure they're being as much of a nuisance in here as possible to slow down the progress of 139 this way. And I think they even lost, you can see how far this flag got. I think they even lost control of this pass at some point. But once they cleaned out 234 and locked them out, then they turned their faces this way. And this is how they won this map. And so they had the same idea as 196, divide and conquer. But they realized that their power is by staying together, fighting a frontier at a time while giving up a certain side. To the credit of LG47, LG47 in Legends Gaming did that. LG47, who started taking care of the top area, going up against IKM, very quickly realized that their frontier is a very tough frontier, but the main juice was in here and it was having a hard time. And so I saw them at some point get out of here and focus their way in here, placing a fort right next to LG2 and putting pressure in the center, giving up on this side. What can be said about Legends Gaming? I don't think it's over. I think Legends Gaming are going to come out swinging again. And hopefully, instead of calling me a snitch and being haters and finding a way to take out your frustration on me, realize that, like some of your leadership, including a big boy who keeps bad-mouthing me, Legends Gaming was just as important to me, and it's a stepkid to me like it is to the OG leaders. Whether the big boy recognizes it or not, I made tens of videos praising 196 and putting that 196 on the map, whether he likes it or not. And so my big tip potentially for these guys is regroup and figure out how you swing together your strength that does exist rather than divide and conquer. But again, get ready, because the folks at 157 are no joke. They're synchronized, they're strong, they're tough, and they're ready to go. And so are the folks in Kingdom 86. Anyway, I'm Gekko. I'm out of here. Thank you guys very much for watching this video. Thank you guys all for your continuous support. Smash a like on the video if you found it informative, helpful, useful in any shape or form. If you're just here to hate and don't even care about what I have to say, you're welcome to dislike, leave a nasty comment, and go about your way. If you want to know a little bit more about my insight and the things that I know that I do not want to share in the public space, because unlike what some individuals are saying, I'm not going to badmouth Legends Gaming, you're welcome to hit me up in private. Twitter, Facebook, Discord, Instagram, all that in the description down below. I'll see you guys sooner rather than later. Next week, we have 149 against 163, which has a few very nuts videos. You really don't want to miss that. Make sure you're subscribed and turn on the bell. I'll see you sooner rather than later. Peace.